A light breeze causes the naked branches overhead to rattle like wooden wind chimes. This is a popular retreat for the couples in summer. The decadus trees provide a beautiful green canopy, far out of sight of teachers and fellow students. But now, in late winter, it feels like I'm standing under a pile of kindling. I breathe into my cupped hands and rub them together furiously to prevent them from numbing in the cold. Just how long am I expected to wait out here anyway? I'm sure the note said 4 p.m. Ah yes, the note. Slipped between the pages of my maths book while I wasn't looking. That could be an innuendo. As far as cliches go, I'm more of a fan of a letter in the locker, but at least this way it shows a little bit of initiative. It's firing shots, bruh. As I ponder the meaning of the note, the snowfall gradually thickens. Well, it's pretty obvious what it means, just like it's a letter that was hidden, asking you to meet in such a romantic place. She's probably going to tell you she's a guy, though. The snowflakes silently falling from the white painted sky are the only sign of time passing in this stagnant world. Their slow descent upon a frozen forest makes it seem like time has slowed to a crawl. The rustling of dry snow underfoot startles me, interrupting the quiet mood. Someone is approaching me from behind. This is where Cosby just like, do you need a sweater or a drink? Hey Sal, you okay? A hesitating, barely audible question. However, I recognize the owner of that dainty voice instantly. I feel my heart skip a beat. It's a voice I've listened to hundreds of times, but never more than an eavesdropper to a conversation. I turn and face this voice, the voice of my dreams, and my heart begins to race. If my voice is the voice of your dreams, bro, you got something wrong with you. Iwanako. Ivan. I'll just call it Ivan. Ivan. I got a note telling me to wait here. It was yours? Damn it. I spent all afternoon trying to come up with a good line, and that was the result. Pathetic. Yeah, that was pretty bad. It's like, I saw this letter. I noticed your handwriting was the same. The same that is written in the walls of my heart. Yes. I asked a friend to give you that note. I'm so glad you got it. A shy, joyous smile that makes me so tense. I couldn't move a single muscle, even if I tried. My heart is pounding now, as if it was trying to burst from my chest and claim this girl for itself. So, here we are, out in the cold. Once again, the wind stirs up the branches, a cacophonous noise is music to my ears. Ivan flinches ever so softly in the gust of wind. As it passes, she rights herself, as if supported by some new confidence. Her eyes lock with mine, and she lazily twirls her long dark hair around her finger. All the while, the anxious beating of my heart grows ever louder. Pretty sure he's got hypothermia right now. 90% sure. My throat is tight. I doubt I could even force a word out, even if I tried. You see, I wanted to know... Oh, wait, the voice. If you'd go out with me. I stand there motionless, save for my pounding heart. I want to say something in reply, but my vocal cords feel like they've been stretched beyond the breaking point. His help? I reach up to massage my throat, but it only sends spikes of blinding pain along my arms. His help! My whole body freezes, save for my eyes which shoot open. The writers really like using the word save for blank, so guess I'll be seeing it a lot more. Yes, why am I laughing? The beating of my heart suddenly stops, and I go weak at the knees. Guess his heart really did, try to take it for himself. The world around me, the canopy of bare branches, the dull winter sky, Ivan running towards me, all these fade to black. The last things I remember before slipping away were the sounds of Ivan screaming for help and the incessant clatter of branches above. I loved her, save for my heart. Why? 4 Leaf Studios present Katawa Shoujo. I guess this would be a good time for me to talk about who I am and how I found out about this game. I did find out I have finished it once, and I'm not gonna I'm gonna try to steer far away from that route as possible, but it just depends how it goes. Lily was the best, and I might see if I should go with Emmy or Rin. One of the missing limbs, yeah. But yeah, you should be expecting a lot more parts of these coming soon. That was a quick time skip. Oh, shit. It's been 4 months since my heart attack. In that whole time, I can probably count the times I've left this hospital room unsupervised on one hand. 4 months is a pretty long time when you're left alone with your thoughts, so I've had plenty of time to come to terms with my situation. Arrhythmia. A strange word, a foreign, alien one. One that I don't want to be in the same room with, but he can only leave the room, a couple of times. A rare condition that causes the heart to act erratically and occasionally beat way too fast. It can be fatal. Apparently, I've had it for a long time. They said it was a miracle that I was able to go on so long without anything happening. Is that really a miracle? I guess it was supposed to make me feel better, more appreciative of my life. It didn't really do anything to cheer me up. My parents, I think, were hit harder by the news than I was. They had practically had 2 hemorrhages apiece. I had already had a full day by then to digest everything. To them, it was all fresh. They were even willing to sell a house to pay for a cure. Of course, there isn't a cure. Because of the late discovery of this condition, I've had to stay at a hospital to recuperate from the treatments. When I was first admitted, it felt as if I was missed. For about a week, my room in the ward was full of flowers, balloons and cards. But the visitors soon dwindled, and all the get-well gifts began trickling down to nothing shortly after. I realised that the only reason I'd got so many cards and flowers was because Sending me their sympathy had been turned into a class project. Maybe some people were genuinely concerned, but I doubt it. Even in the beginning, I barely had visitors. By the end of the first month, only my parents came by on a regular basis. Ivan was the last to stop visiting. After 6 weeks, I never saw her again. We never had much to talk about when she visited anyway. We didn't touch the subject that was between us on that snowy day ever again. This is such a long wall of text. I know it's given like exposition and everything, but I need a drink. The hospital. It's not really a place I'd like to live in. The doctors and nurses feel so impersonal and faceless. I guess it's because they're in a hurry and they have a million other patients waiting for them, but it makes me feel uncomfortable. For the first month or so, I had asked the head cardiologist every time I saw him for a rough estimate of when I'd be able to leave. He never answered in a straightforward way, but told me to wait and see if my treatment and surgeries worked. So I idly observed the scar that the surgeries had left on my chest slowly change its appearance over time, thinking it's some kind of omen. I still ask the head cardiologist about leaving, but my expectations are low enough that I'm not disappointed anymore when I don't get a reply. The way he shuffles around the answer shows there's at least some hope. At some point, I stopped watching TV. I don't know why, I just did. TV is pretty shit, not gonna lie right now. Maybe it was the wrong kind of escapism from my situation. I started reading instead. There was a small library at the hospital, although it was more like a storeroom for books. Isn't that what a library is, though? It's an organised storeroom, but it's still a storeroom. I began working my way through it, one small stack at a time. After consuming them, I would go back for more. So, books are like his food, I guess. I found that I liked reading, and I think I'd become a bit more addicted, so it's food and drugs and clothing. I started to feel naked without a book in my hands, but I loved the stories. That's what my life was like. The days became increasingly harder to distinguish from one another, differing only by the book I was reading and the weather outside. It felt like time blurred into some kind of gooey mass I was trapped inside, instead of moving within. A week could go by without me really noticing it. Sometimes I'd pause in the realization that I didn't know what day of the week it was. But other times, all the things that surrounded me would painfully crash into my consciousness through the barrier of nonchalance that I've set up for myself. The pages of the books would start to feel sharp, burning hot, and the heaviness in my chest would become so hard to bear that I had to put the book aside and just lay down for a while, looking at the ceiling as if I was going to cry. But that happened only rarely, and I couldn't even cry. I cry every time. Today, the doctor comes in and gives me a smile. He seems excited, but not very. It's like he's trying to make an effort to be happy on my behalf. My parents are here. It's been a few days since I last seen them. Both of them are even sort of dressed up. Is this supposed to be some kind of special occasion? It's not a pod. You getting out, bruh? You leaving, bruh? There's this ritual the head cardiologist has. He takes his time sorting his papers and sets them aside as if to make a point of the pointlessness that he just did. Then he casually sits down on the edge of the bed next to mine. He looks at me in the eyes for a moment. Hello. Yes, Al. What services do you want today? I don't answer him, but smile a little back at him. I believe that you can go home. Your heart is stronger now, and with some precautions, you should be fine. We have all your medication sorted. I'll give your father the prescription. The doctor hands a sheet of paper to my dad, whose expression turns wooden as he reads it. So many. I take it from his hands to take a look for myself, feeling numb. How am I supposed to react to this? 20? The long list of medications staring back at me. The paper seems insurmountable. They all blend together in a sea of letters. That is definitely... that is a lot. Fatigue. Fellow de pain. I'm gonna stop. This is insane. Side effects, adverse effect, contradictions, and dosages. Contradictions and dosages are listed line after line with cold precision. I try to read them, but it's so futile. I can't understand any of it. Attempting to only makes me feel sicker. All this time, for the rest of my life. Every day? I'm afraid this is the best we can do at this point. However, new medications are always being developed, so I wouldn't be surprised to see that list fade over the years. Years? What kind of confidence booster is that? I'd have felt better if you hadn't said anything at all. Also, I've spoken with your parents, and I believe that it would be best if you don't return to your old school. What?
Please calm down, Hassan. Listen to what the doctor has to say.
Calm down? The way he told me, he knew full and well that I wouldn't like it. Am I going to be homeschooled? Whatever my concern shows, it's ignored. We all understand that your education is paramount. However, I don't think that it's wise for you to be without supervision. At least not until we're sure that your medicine is suitable. So I've spoken to your parents about a transfer. It's a school called Yamaku Academy that specializes in dealing with disabled students. Disabled? What? Am I? It has 24-hour nursing staff and it's only a few minutes from a highly regarded general hospital. For me, the majority of students live on campus. Think of it as a boarding school of sorts. It's designed to give students a degree of independence while keeping help nearby. Independence. It's a school for independence? It's a school for disabled kids. Don't try to hide that fact. If it was really that free, there wouldn't be a 24-hour nursing staff, and you wouldn't make a hospital being nearby a selling point.
Of course, that's only if you want to go, but your mother and I aren't really able to homeschool you. You went out there and had a look a couple of weeks back. I think you'd like it.
Looks like I really don't have a choice. Compared to the other heart problems, people with your condition tend to live long lives. You'll need a job one day, and this is a good opportunity to continue your education. This isn't an opportunity. Don't call it an opportunity. Don't call it a goddamned opportunity. Someone's getting pissed. Well, you should be excited at this chance to go back to school. I remember you wanted to return to school. And while it's not the same one, a special school, that's an insult. That is what I want to say. It's a step down.
It's not what you think. All the students there are pretty active in their own sort of way. It's geared towards students that can get around and learn, but just need to live that one way or another.
Your father's right. Many of the graduates of the school have gone on to do amazing things. A person isn't held back by their disability. One of my colleagues at another hospital is a graduate. Is this meant to be a good hospital? And he says one of the colleagues at another hospital. Could be a worse hospital. Just saying. You never know. I don't care. A person doesn't have to be held back by their disability. That's what a disability is. I really hate that something so important was decided for me. Well, what can I do about it? A normal life is out of the question now. I have a good quote for you. Nothing is weird, and nothing is normal. That is original. I take full credit for that. It's never been said before. Thank you. It's funny. I always had thought my life was actually kind of boring, but now I miss it. I want to protest. I want to blame this lack of reaction on shock or fatigue. I could easily yell out something now. something about how I can go back to school anyway, but no, I don't say anything. The fact is, I know it's futile. I look around the room, feeling very tired of all this. The hospital, doctors, my condition, everything. I don't see anything that could make me feel any different. There really isn't a choice. I know this, but the thought of going to a disabled school, what are those even like? As much as I try to put a positive spin on this, it's very difficult. But let me try. A clean slate isn't bad. That is all I can think of to get me through this. At least to have something, even if it's a special school, it's something. It's a fresh start. And my life isn't over. It would be a mistake to just resign myself to thinking that. At the very least, I'll get to see what my new life looks like. Woo! He's not very happy. That's a nice gate. The gate looked far too pompous for what it was. In fact, gates in general seem to do that, but this one especially so. Red bricks, black wrought iron, and grey plaster assembled into a whole thing that didn't feel welcoming at all. I wondered if I looked at the gate. I wonder if it looked like... I can't speak. I wondered if it looked like what a gate for a school should look like, but couldn't really decide. Probably no. Of course I didn't want to get stuck on thinking about the gate for too long, so I entered through with a brisk pace. It felt surprisingly good. Moving forward feels good. So I walked towards the main building of Yamaku... I'll just call it YA. Of YA with a brisk pace. I'm alone, as my parents are taking us off to the dorms. There's supposed to be someone waiting for me. The grounds are incredibly lush, filled with greens. It doesn't feel the kind of grounds a school would have, more like a park with a clean walkway going past trees, and the smell of fresh cut grass and all other park-like things. That fresh cut grass does have a really good smell, but I think petrol does have one of the best smells. Like, when you just at a petrol station, just like put the windows down, just breathe it in, like, I don't want to even start. Words like clean and hygienic pop into mind. It makes me shudder. I shake them off. Stay open-minded now. It's your new life. You have to take it as it comes. What is it with this game and innuendos? That's what I tell myself. A few big buildings loom behind the leafy canopies. It's too big and too many for just a school. Everything seems off. It's different from what I thought I knew about schools. It's an uncanny valley. Even though I'm told this is my school, in the back of my head, it doesn't feel like one. I wonder if the feeling is real or caused by my expectations of a school for the disabled. Speaking of that, I don't see anyone else. It's kind of eerie. It makes me wish there was somebody here so I could anchor myself to something tangible instead of having this feeling I step into another dimension. The trees hummed and the green hues flashing around me catch my attention. It makes me think about hospitals again. How could they say that operating rooms are painted green because green is a common colour? So why am I feeling so anxious despite all this greenery? Only after standing in front of the haughty main building I surprised myself by realising why the gate bothered me. It was the last chance I had to turn back. Even if I had no life I could return to. But still, it's entertaining. There was absolutely no way I could go back anymore. Feeling nervous with this realisation set in my head, I opened the front door. Whoosh. A tall man with bad posture noticed me as I enter. We're the only people in the lobby, so I guess it's only logical. You must be Nikki? He is Nicky. So you are excellent. I'm your home teacher, homeroom science teacher. My name is Muto. He looks like David Tennant. David Tennant with like longer hair. Welcome. We exchange a handshake that is neither firm nor sloppy. Fuck. Why is it with the innuendos? And he looks at his watch. The head nurse asked you for a brief check-in visit, but there's no time for that now. Oh, should I go later? Yes, afternoon. I'm gonna give him a really growly, gruff voice.
Yes, afternoon's probably fine. We should get going and introduce you to the rest of the class. They're waiting.
Waiting for me? I don't really like being the centre of attention, but I guess it's inevitable in a situation like this. Somehow not knowing what is waiting for me makes me feel really nervous. Thinking of this, I almost miss what the teacher is saying.
Do you want to introduce yourself to the class?
I will go. Why? Why do I have to?
Of course not. That's why I asked. Right.
Oh, right. Sorry, I just saw some demons. I don't know what happened.
Let's go then.
My heart is pounding in my chest, and it keeps me from thinking about my condition as I follow the teacher up the stairs. The third door down the third floor corridor is marked for the classroom of Class 3-3. That is a tongue twister and a half. Mattel opens the door and enters.
Come on, class. Sorry I'm late.
I hesitate for a split second at the door, freezing on the spot. I am gonna end it here. We've gone on for about 28 minutes. I think that's long enough for a first episode. And should have another one uploading. If you like this, give it a thumbs up. Just do the usual things. Just like rate me 5 stars, comment Bob and his army, and then like unsubscribe or whatever. Yeah, thanks.